So, is this the future? Will we all be living in our bathtubs in order to avoid our technology? Surely there's a better solution. Joining us, Andy Andrews. He's the author of the best-selling book, The Butterfly Effect. And Andy, it is a pleasure to make the acquaintance by way of television.
Hi, Dylan.
How are you?
Good, good. You?
I'm fantastic. So before we get into any day without socks, Andy, is a good day in my world. If you were to look at how prevalent this problem is. I know you've got the solution. I'm looking at it right here. I'm very excited to reveal it. But first, if you wouldn't mind just giving me an assessment of how bad this is and what the dangers are.
You know, there is a danger in any bad habit, and I am really referring to this as a bad habit. Even though we refer to technological addictions as an addiction, a lot of it really does not have a pathology like alcohol or drugs, and some of it is what my granddaddy used to call a bad habit.
I'm sorry, what were you saying?
I said some of it.
I'm kidding. I was looking at my BlackBerry. If you could get killed, though. I tell you, people in New York, they walk around texting, right across the street into a green light. How do you know? Go ahead.
People are a little bit over the top with it, and I mean, if you look at Mark, I mean, I just watched that too, and I got to tell you, you know, there's not much difference in a bad habit and some of what he's doing, which you could kind of say what Barney Fife would call him would be a nut.
Yeah, no, I think that you were not too far out on a limb when you refer to him as a nut. Symptoms of net addiction.
A lot of the symptoms are when we ignore the things that are the real things in our lives, like our families, and when we don't have our own attempts to control behavior become successful. We have craziness about what we're doing on the internet. You know, we get more excited about it than we do real life. We don't sleep. You know, we stay up past and we miss work, and a lot of it is feeling guilty or ashamed about what we are doing when we're online.
You mean all the porn and stuff?
Well, you know, I don't think you have to be watching porn to be addicted to the internet. Yeah. I think that's a totally different addiction.
But you could put them together.
Yeah, you could put them together.
You could sit there drinking while enjoying internet porn.
And be hooked up to a heroin IV, I'm sure.
That's living. So if you've got this problem or some version of it, whether it's your BlackBerry, your iPhone, or your computer, you have some suggestions.
Yeah, Dylan, I believe we are created with a will that is stronger than our emotions, which a lot of this is just discipline. You know, replace it with something more productive. Read. You know, spend some time with your family. Impose a technological-free zone in your home, at least for a period of time. You know, I have a 10-year-old who wants a cell phone. He doesn't need a cell phone. I'm his dad. I tell him that, you know, he doesn't need one. And the other thing is to create some replacements there. Have a family dinner and impose it on your family.
But don't all of his friends have cell phones?
Yeah, they do. And his friends have parents who let them have cell phones. But what does a 10-year-old need a cell phone for?
Buying crack?
Well, maybe so. And mine's not going to be buying crack.
But your real message here is that whatever the problem may be in terms of technology, you don't have to lock yourself in the bathroom. You can actually engage in replacements, reading, eating dinner, or whatever. There are things
to do. Holy cow, you know, I mean, when we have drugs, we have alcohol, when there is a pathology like that, there is something there. But with technology, come on, replace it with something. Don't lock yourself in the bathroom.
For a second there, I thought you were suggesting we replace technology with drugs and alcohol.
No, but sometimes, you know, we actually lived fine without the invention of the iPhone. It helps, but we were fine.
All right. Listen, don't tell the kids. A pleasure to talk to Andy Andrews. The Butterfly Effect is the book. A pleasure to have the conversation. And speaking of